Dave here from Amplify, and I'm talking to Rick McMurray from Ash, the band Ash.
Hey,
How are you, Rick?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm just in Yorkshire at the minute, down at the father-in-law's. It's quite a hot day, sitting outside
It,
here,
it,
and
it, in Yorkshire.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How does the Northern Ireland England thing go over these days? You know, being from Australia here, is there still is there still an issue, or is it
Well, I mean, my wife is English, so that probably tells its own story.
okay? But I mean, would that have been allowed 30 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the world's changed a lot in 30 years. You
The
know what I
world
mean?
has.
But
Okay.
I think one thing that doesn't change is when it comes to football and stuff like that. It's anyone but England. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
my father-in-law was quite horrified that I was supporting like Mexico, Norway, Argentina. But I
Yeah,
think he's
well,
he's over
well,
at family. I'm allowed in the house, so
well. I think you know when it comes to sport, you only have to look at a football match over there, and the fact that they have two empty stands in between home sides and opposing sides sort of suggests that football's a bit different to everything else that takes place. Go to Italy, and the wives know they're number three. They know that football's number two or maybe number one, and
yeah,
they're definitely number two. So there's no two ways about that. So I can understand that. That's the same
yeah,
with you guys, and um, is it? It's Ireland, isn't it? The two sides that have been playing each other forever, football sides. Anyhow,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It's all good, you know. It's nice that we got the sport to release that tension.
I've got this visual of two English coppers in the middle of a Northern Ireland sort of process, and they were dragged out of the car and beaten to death, and it had like a Wembley crowd around them. And I thought to myself, that'd be a pretty scary scene to be in the middle of that thing and sort of understand that there's no way out, sort of thing. So it's a pretty, but like you say, it's changed a lot since then. So fortunately. Um, how'd the band come together? I know I asked what's he this a couple of years ago. I'd love to get your take on it. How'd the band come together 30 plus years ago in Downpatrick?
Yeah, well, I think the other two guys in the band, Tim and Mark, they met first. I think Mark moved to the same school as Tim, and they bonded over like this Iron Maiden back patch. So it was very much their friendship was based in music.
Right.
We're all like kind of metal kids, and they immediately decided. I think I think there was talk at one point of starting an American football team. Just looking at your baseball cap there,
Yeah.
um, but that was I think that was they were biting off a little bit more than they could chew at that point. So it was like, oh, well, let's get a band together. So this was even before they got instruments, and then they were like, right, like we got like guitars when they were like 11 and sort of took it from there. So they started their like a band called Vietnam, which is quite a strange name.
Yeah.
But then a few years later, I think I first met Tim in school. We were doing like a school play together, and he was happened to be playing guitar in it, and I picked up his guitar, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting together with a few mates. If you want to like, come around and sort of we'll do some cover versions, etc." Just kind of like something to do
Yeah.
musically during the holidays. And I immediately said to him, "Have you got a drummer?" Because I'd had a drum kit for like maybe a year or two at that point. And he was like, "No, we don't." So I come round, played drums. And we kind of hit it off. We had fun doing it. And I think on the second day, Mark came round. He wasn't playing, but he was just sort of sat in the corner very quietly. And I think in hindsight, they were kind of checking me out to become the new drummer in their band. So it's like I think when I joined, it was like a complete name change. We found the name Ash within a couple of days of first playing together, and we
Yeah.
were recording demos within a week. So it was like very much it had gone from sort of like at that point it had gone from the heavy metal to like kind of Nirvana had been like a huge like catalyst for loads of people around our area. Actually, there
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
tons of bands like inspired
Yeah.
by that. So that got us going. It was kind of like a simpler music, and it would kind of like related to kind of like the honesty they're talking about every day stuff a lot, and that teenagers could relate to, rather than
Yep. Yep.
the metal excess of fast cars and drugs and whatever.
And
So that
they called you Ringo? No.
no, no.
I just thought someone else got called that in a band that I interviewed. Maybe they were, back in the '80s, so maybe they were a bit closer to the scene
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
got the
Well, it
new
was funny.
drummer.
We were doing an interview recently, and Tim happened to mention in that he was listening back to our like very early demos recently, and he was saying he was quite amazed by how like sort of like together and steady we sounded, and he put that down to me, so I'll
Yeah,
take that.
I think we all know how important the drummer is in keeping a band together. I think that's pretty well accepted. I was going to say briefly describe your journey since then, but it's got to start with 1977. You come out with an album after a few years, 3 or 4 years, and NME name it one of the 500 greatest albums of all time. That's a
That's
big
a pretty good
stamp.
start.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we'd
When you
even
start
started out.
there, it's all downhill from there, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, what 30 years had been this slow decline. But that was like, it was like a pretty, obviously a pivotal record in our career. But like even the early days, even before we'd done that record, we had Girl from Mars. It was written in like '93, I
Yep,
think. But that was one we kind of kept that in our back pocket, because we were so young at the time when we got signed. We were still at school, so
yep,
it was very much a case of let's keep that song and let's wait until we're ready to give it the
yep,
sort of like whatever it needs to kind of like get the most out of it. So that entailed us sort of like putting out a mini album and then waiting and sort of like building things up slowly. And then once we were out of school, it was like bam, this drops. And then that was like a life changing moment. That song like,
yeah. I
took
can
us
imagine.
on our first like world tour. And at that point, we were like, we're trying to write our debut album at the same time. There's a few songs like Kung Fu, Girl from Mars, Angel Intercept that had been written previously, but it was kind of like a weird kind of like it was a debut album, but it was also like kind of like a hybrid between that and the Difficult Second album. But
Yeah,
it was that we were kind of riding this wave of sort of confidence, and everything we were doing was building up, and it's like there was sort of like pressure and confidence in equal measures, and I think
yeah.
that's what turned it into what it was.
Did you all write?
It's like I'd say like 90%, like around about 80-90% was Tim at that point. Like Mark was writing like bits and pieces as well. He's got a few tunes in that album, but Tim's definitely the main songwriter. But I think we work well as a unit. Tim's like he's super prolific over the years, but it's like I think sometimes it takes that people he can trust musically
Yeah,
to like
yeah,
go, okay, that's the song. There's been like several times throughout her career where it's like, oh, I'm not sure about this one, and it ends up being we're like, no, no, that's the one, that's the song we need,
yeah,
and it's like that
yeah.
becomes the biggest song.
And where did 1977 come from? The title. What was that? What was that about?
That was actually the year that the other two guys were born in the
Really?
band. So I think
77.
because obviously that was like it was still being 1977 was written the year that punk broke, and I think it was quite a statement for us to say, okay, that might be the year punk broke, but that's when we were born, kind of that juxtaposition. But,
In in
it's worked out well. Like, back there, it was kind of like saying, this is how young we are back in the day, and like 30 years later, it kind of dates us as well. Well,
yeah.
it dates the other two because I was actually born in 1975, so it allows me to shave off a couple of years if I feel like
There you
I need
go.
it.
There you go. Well, in '77, Collingwood won the Wooden Spoon in 1976, and in '77 they were in the grand final, and we were 27 points up at three-quarter time, and it was a draw, and then they came back and beat us in the replay. So '77 is a bogey year for me. It's got bad memory. So, when I look at it, I think I can't get that album. I can't listen to that album, unfortunately, unless you bring out another one and call it 1978, the year after, then I
Oh,
can listen to it. How would you
okay.
describe your sound? Power pop,
Um,
power pop trio, glam rock, post
yeah,
grunge, Brit pop. How can you be called Brit Pop, Northern Ireland band?
Yeah, I mean it's weird because obviously the timing of it was right around that sort of Britpop era, but obviously coming from Norway, it felt like we kind of had like a kind of toe in the water. Like the producer of our first three albums, Owen Morris, who produced the first three Oasis albums,
Yeah,
so we were around it, but at the same time, it's like it wasn't coming from Ireland. It's like having the word Brit is quite
no,
controversial for.
no, yeah,
So,
especially the old timers.
yeah. But also, but from a musical point of view as well, we were inspired by like Nirvana and a lot of punk stuff as well, like Buzzcocks and stuff. So it's like, it's like if you listen to like the first track in 1977, it's like it's pulling from wildly different influences from that Britpop wouldn't touch. Like there's Sonic Youth in there. There's I think we listened to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and stuff, but it wasn't exclusively. Whereas you listen to a lot of those Britpop bands, it's like it's veering close to a tribute act.
Sure. And was 1977 accepted straight away, or was it something that was seen as pretty fantastic later down the track?
No, I think it went to number one in the UK, and it was it's like it kind of like we got like a pretty amazing accolade for that, which was it was the first Irish debut album to go to number one in the UK,
Wow,
which is pretty cool, to be able
very
to say
cool.
that.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I think I don't think we were taken that seriously at the time. I think people thought it was just like an aberration, like we something that we weren't expected to repeat
lucky.
that level of success. Yeah, but we kind of like proved ourselves like on our third album, which we kind of dug deep, and that went to number one in the UK as well. So it kind of proved that there was more to us than just like one lucky album.
Boom, boom. Okay, so you've got Oh Yeah was just released in May, the single,
Yeah.
and Ad Astra was released in last year. So what are you promoting at the moment?
Well, with the 1977 30th anniversary coming up,
Well,
there's a
that's coming up
reissue
with
of
the
that.
tour. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, the reissue.
Yeah, yeah, that's coming, I think, in October. But yeah, we kind of repackaged the whole album. We've dug out like all the old B sides for the vinyl, which has never been sort of collected before. So we're kind of conscious of trying to put together a package that we would like if it was one of our favorite bands, and it's like trying to put some value into that. We also dug out a very old song, which was 30 years and never got finished on the 1977 record.
Wow.
It didn't have a title or lyrics or anything like that, but we I think we put down the backing track. It was one of like the first backing tracks we put down, and then we moved on from it on that session. But amazingly, somehow Tim has managed to kind of like delve back 3 decades and kind of finish it in the style it started in. So that's pretty cool for the collectors out there to get like a brand new song that's like 30 years in the making and goes
Well,
right back to
what was
the
it saved
1970s.
on? A bloody cassette tape or something or other. What was it? How
Well,
was it? How do you save music back then?
well, back then it was on the backing track was on the kind of like the master tapes,
Okay.
but through whatever reason we looked for it about 10 years ago on the 20th anniversary. We couldn't find it, but I think our catalog was since like bought by different record companies, so it was like everything got transferred, and Tim managed to do a bit of detective work and actually tracked it
Very
down. I think there was
good.
like two tape reels, and one of them was mislabeled, so we had to
Very good.
like look through a load of stuff and actually found it. It was like, right, I've done all that hard work, may as well finish it now. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
CSI, eat your heart out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. So you're coming out in September. You got an Australian tour in September. You're playing 1977, or you're playing a lot of the old stuff.
I think we're kind of going to like work it. We're going to do like the anniversary thing for 1977, but we're also going to. It's the first time we've been to Australia since Ad Astra come out, so it's like it kind of feels like those records kind of tie together in a weird way because it's like 1977. It was like we songs like Girl from Mars and Angel Interceptor. There's definitely a bit of a kind of space theme going, and it feels like we've kind of like come full circle and revisited that. And I think that's going to be a good sort of balance. I mean, there'll be other big hits throughout the years thrown in there as well at some point, but we want to give a bit of like what we're celebrating and where we're at as a band as well.
And how is everyone after 30 years? Because usually when I interview bands, I interview a lot of bands, and bands that have been together 30, 40 years have got, a whole litany of people that have been through for a few years and in and out, etc. You guys have been pretty much, the three of you, for the duration. And so
Yeah,
I don't think there's too many hiatuses in there either, is there?
no, we've kept going. I think there's like the only time there's any been a break. I mean, that was forced on us by COVID.
Yeah.
That was like the longest
So and you were all in school together, were you, or two of you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like Tim and Mark they were in the same year at school. I was like a year above them. But we're all like sort of
So,
close
so
age.
you must be pretty good mates all the way through.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like I think a lot of bands. It's like I think in terms of we were lucky enough to sort of like it's our first real band together,
Yeah,
and from the very early days we've kind of stuck together. Whereas if you've been through like 5 or 6 bands, I'd imagine it probably becomes more about
yeah.
you than it does
Plus,
about the band. You know what I mean? Whereas
bit,
this is like the band's almost like a fourth member in the band
bit,
itself.
bit,
So it's like
bit disappointed there's not a member of the 27 Club, or, someone that, was mucked up on drugs or something like that. Surely there's some interest. No, I'm only joking.
yeah, yeah.
No,
No, we've managed to I don't know what our secret is, but we've managed to survive 3 decades. So
I
we've
think
come
so.
this far.
I think sometimes, like you say, because it was like your first together, there wasn't a lot to, compare it to, or a lot to, I like that, I want to go back to that, or this or that. You just turned up and you had a bit
Yeah,
of success. So,
yeah,
it's a pretty conscious sort of process.
yeah.
How long are you going to keep going for? You reckon you'll keep turning up, or is there any?
Yeah, I mean, we were actually talking about this yesterday in an interview, and it's like, we're doing the 30th anniversary. And I think when we started doing these anniversary things, it was like sort of something you felt, okay, we probably should do this. But I think at this point, after kind of looking at it, going like, will we make it to the 40th anniversary? Is this will this be the last time we get to do
No.
this? So we're kind of like it becomes more kind of. I think you go through a period of sort of like we accept it and just go, okay, we have to do that. But I think this time around, I think we're really like kind of
Yeah,
blown away
yeah,
by the.
yeah, yeah.
This is it's taken us around. It's almost like our tour 30 years ago. It's taken us around the world, and
Yeah,
that's it's and we're seeing it's grown as a kind of thing over the last three
which is
decades.
great, which is great. And with a name like Ash, it's not an easy name to sort of search for or whatever, because it's connected to a whole range of words that have Ash in it. So it doesn't sort
Yeah,
of, you've got to sort of go looking for it and find it. And so the fact that you've got that following and all that is testament to the fact that they really do enjoy what you do.
yeah, yeah.
So, but as for last, we both could name quite a number of bands that went on their last tour about 10 times. So, I'm not sure that finals really mean too much, really. Not in today's world, because everyone, we live in a thought-driven world, and everyone changes their mind in 2 seconds, and everyone sort of accepts it. So,
Yeah,
if
yeah. I
you,
mean, it's like I'm like saying this might be the last time. I don't know. It's like it's just like I think it's more like we can't take it for granted. It's like
no,
I've just turned
and
50. Well, I'm able to play like like it's pretty up tempo some of the stuff we do. Like Lose Control,
you all
first
married
track.
with kids,
Yeah,
and do the
yeah.
kids
Well, some of us married, some of us not. But there's kids in the picture. Yeah.
all kids, and any up at touring age, or are they all still teenagers?
Um, Still teenagers, but yeah, I think Mark, the bass player, his eldest is she's 17. She'll be turning 18 this year. My eldest is 15, and
Pretty close, pretty close to
Tim's
bringing it,
eldest, yeah,
pretty
Tim's
close to
eldest. That'll be a while.
pretty close to bring a drum tech, I think, Rick, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my eldest is like she's into a lot of music, and she actually got me into System of a Down over the last
Oh,
year.
yeah, well, that's
We went to see them in London a couple of weeks ago, which was just phenomenal.
they're coming out too. So
I saw, yeah, they're, with Faith No More, right?
with Faith No More. Um,
Yeah.
if you could
Yes.
perform with any music artist, alive or dead, who would you choose? Why?
That's a tough question. I mean, it's
I
like,
only ask tough questions.
yes, yeah, I'm being grilled. I don't know, maybe like I'd be kind of like someone who, it might actually be possible is like Steve Diggle from the Buzzcocks, because Buzzcocks were like they're like such a great, like, punk pop
Yep, yep,
singles, and I think that would be an amazing fit.
yep. Okay. Okay. Here's some quick fires. Let's finish off with some of those stupid questions that are really hard.
Okay.
They're not so bad at the moment. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Understanding you got a tour in September. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? This
Craziest
isn't
thing.
this isn't the time you say, I got a shovel and I went out the back and this guy was irritating me and he's buried in the backyard or something like that.
I'm not, yeah. I'm not going to implicate myself. Don't worry. I mean, I could probably implicate our bass player. I know several crazy things he's done, like falling off a tour bus. But yeah, I think he takes care. He always took care of the crazy. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. All
that's
right.
his world. I'm usually,
Ask him. Ask him.
yeah,
Pass it
yeah.
on.
I'm there to pick up the pieces. Like falling off buildings or trashing dressing rooms. And
Nah.
I
What's
remember the
actually
first time.
someone said that yesterday or the day before they jumped off a. It was the guy out of Candlemas. Johan.
Oh,
He said he jumped off a. He was in Sweden, and he jumped off a tree that was like 10 stories high or something or other, and in his youth, and he hit branches all the way down, and he got to the bottom and he was okay, or he wasn't too bad, and he thought, I'm not sure I'll do that ever again. That was a pretty interesting sort of scenario.
yeah. Well, I guess he had a few things to break his fall, but yeah, our bass player was like he was trying to jump from the trailer on our bus onto the roof of the bus at like 6 in the morning after we'd been like drinking all night, and
Superman.
he like walked back to take a run up and just like fell off the back, landed on his head, and it was like
Ouch.
he was in hospital having his like scalp stapled and
Perfect.
stuff like that. I think that was the beginning of
That'll
him
do.
like kind of coming down then.
What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
Probably the
Football.
band. I'm not a massive talker, to be honest. I mean, it's
You've been
like,
doing well.
yeah. I mean, I like doing interviews. I know my subject matter like quite well.
Yeah.
Probably boring something like drums.
Yeah. Not soccer or football or anything like that.
I'm a bit of to be honest, I'm a bit of a fair weather football fan these days. It's like I enjoy the World Cup. I enjoy like the Euros when they come around every 2 years. But
Rugby,
I mean,
cricket, probably
nah. I mean, snooker has weirdly become my sport.
snooker's a
I don't
great.
know.
I love watching snooker. I played when I was younger. I love watching snooker. I reckon it's a great, and when you watch the champ there for about 10 or 20 years and he just turn up and play right hand, left hand, that was
Yeah.
fantastic. He was a superstar.
I've been
Um,
to been to live snooker matches, and that was great. It's like a completely different thing going to see it.
yeah, yeah. What's the thing you like most about yourself?
I don't know. What do you like most about me? My wife's just
Your
sitting over there.
beard, your beard,
What?
face hair,
Everything apparently. So yeah, it's very
everything.
diplomatic. Yeah.
Everything. So,
I
so
know.
it's true to say that you mightn't have taken many drugs in your life, but she certainly has. Obviously, if she likes if she likes everything about you, she's
Yeah, yeah.
obviously under the effect of some heavy stuff at the moment.
Must be. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's finish off with this. These can be all time or current. These are hard. Favorite album?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go for Paranoid with Black Sabbath.
Fucking
Um,
a great album. 40 years old. 30 fucking 40 years old.
yeah.
Favorite artist?
Again, I'd probably say Black Sabbath.
A great band, a great band. And
That
I
five
grew up I
five
grew
six
up with
songs.
them. I grew up with
Yeah,
them, so I'm old enough to know. Favorite
yeah.
movie?
Favorite movie? Oh man, Jaws. If you look at the cast,
Da-dum,
we've got
da-dum,
Anthony Hopkins on
da-dum,
there. Yeah,
da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. You'll never forget that, hey? The first time you heard
yeah,
that, it was fantastic. That's the one
exactly.
thing I think we miss these days. Back when we were going, to go and get a video out of the store and actually take something home to watch on some sort of a bloody VCR or whatever, it was like an
Yeah,
event. Now we've got fucking wall to wall
too
movies,
much
the
choice.
cows come home. Too much, yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite place to visit? Australia. We don't even need to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's always a joy to come to Australia. It's just like it's like it. Well, I mean it's tiring because we're kind of in and out and jet lagged and just like shows every day. But I mean just the culture, the food, everything. It's just like it feels like just like every time I come, I'm just like, man, I could live here.
Convicts. Convicts. We're convicts together. Northern Ireland, us.
Yeah, exactly. We get
Favorite
well.
favorite venue to play? What's the favorite? What's a venue you can recall that you love?
Sadly, no longer with us, but probably the Astoria in London. We did like at the end of the 1977 tour, we did like 5 nights there, which was like kind of for that time was like a record-breaking run.
Yeah,
And we always just it felt like our home. It was like every time we played there. So yeah, that one's sadly missed. It's been gone for over a decade now, like almost two. It's a
favorite
shame.
food. You have to ask your wife, won't you?
I know. Favorite food. I'm really into like Turkish, Moroccan,
Really,
and anything like that at the minute. Yeah, yeah. It's me and our tour manager. It's like it's. I generally eat it every day on tour. It's just like just
really.
really.
And what
Yeah,
what's it made of? Is it meat or is it?
yeah. It's like grilled meat. You get like lamb chops, like chicken tikka and stuff. But it's like really like fresh. And loads of salad with it and stuff. And it's just like great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Favorite drink?
Favorite drink, water.
Well,
Keep it
you're
alive.
lucky. That's available everywhere. Uh,
Yeah, most. Yeah.
favorite person in history apart from me?
In history, man. I don't know.
So
That's
you
a
say your wife. She's sitting there.
my wife.
Get them brownie points. She just said that you were
I
perfect.
don't
So
know.
it's about time you.
I do like a bit of history, but I think the more you read about anyone who's had any sort of
Well,
significant impact, you just realize that they were just probably just like a psychopath.
you realise exactly. You read enough of these biographies or what have you, and you find out that the person that you really thought was a sensational guy, and he got rid of slavery, and he did this and he did that. You find out they were pedophiles, and they stole half the money from their
Yeah.
slaves and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, it's a bit disheartening. All right, favorite tattoo. You must have a tattoo, or you're clean skin.
I have zero tattoos. I keep
How?
thinking about. Yeah, I keep thinking about it, but I just like I can never make a decision.
Y-
Maybe I should start with something I don't like and then work my way from there.
Your wife's name. That's enough. That'll start. I mean, exactly. She's yeah. Well, how long have you been married?
11 years.
11 years. The Three Stooges used to say, great philosophers. They used to say, "Are you married or happy?" So obviously, you're both, I presume.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it, Rick. That's it.
fantastic.
That's all there is. Okay, so we've got a redo of 1977 coming out. When's that coming out?
That is coming out in October, I believe. It'll be out just
October.
after
The band
the
will
Australia.
be in Australia in September. So if you're overseas, you'll just have to look at the videos, but you'll have to hang out for the 77 version. But if you're here in Australia, you'll be able to hear some of the stuff early. All right, mate.
Yeah,
Well, enjoy yourself. Have a great tour. Have a great trip, and take care of yourself.
fantastic. Looking
Thanks.
forward to it. Cheers.
Thanks for your time.